Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. Welcome to YourBlackWorldTV.com. I want to talk about the Tuskegee experiment for a minute and the distrust that Black people have in the healthcare system. A lot of people know that the distrust we have in the system links to the Tuskegee experiment. And some of you may or may not know the details of this experiment, but let me kind of give you some context here. In the Tuskegee experiment, which took place, it started in 1932. It was finally outed about 1972. 399 men who were diagnosed with syphilis were allowed to go through the community untreated, where they were giving them what they call placebos or fake medicine. And they were allowed to go and infect their wives and infect people in the community. And they wanted to see how the disease would spread. They wanted to watch how many people would die, what the symptoms would be, etc. Now, in about 1947, penicillin was recommended as a treatment for syphilis, but they didn't give them penicillin. They even lied and told the local doctors to not treat these men if they came in with conditions and they found their diagnosis to be related to syphilis. So a lot of unethical behavior here for sure. Now, the reason that the Tuskegee experiment was unearthed was because of a guy named Peter Buxton. Peter Buxton, who was assigned to work on the experiment, he said, look, this is unethical. This is wrong. This is crazy. You can't do this to these people. And they ignored him. They pretty much told him to be quiet. And he went to a person named Gene Heller. And Gene wrote the first major news story in the Associated Press that unearthed what was going on with this Tuskegee experiment. So here's the deal. So at the end, by the time it was all said and done, about 28 people had died directly from syphilis. 100 Black people died from related conditions. 40 of their spouses had been infected, and 19 children were born with syphilis at birth. Syphilis is a terrible disease. The symptoms among many include things like blindness, insanity, and of course, death. And so people were coming in, they were going blind, they were losing their minds, and they knew exactly why, and they did nothing. So obviously, any person in their right mind understands why there is absolutely no reason for Black people to have trust in the medical system, because this is the kind of thing that they've done to our people in the past. And anybody who can't understand that is, in my opinion, either ignorant or racist or crazy. You cannot in any way ignore something like this. Now, here's the thing. Here's what's interesting. Here's the piece about the Tuskegee experiment that they're not really talking about. Two things. One, in the media, a lot of people will talk about Black people's distrust of the medical system, but they won't really explain why. They just talk like Black people are out of their mind and stupid and ignorant and all this other stuff. The second thing, here's the thing I want you to think about. This hasn't been mentioned by anybody that I've seen. Do you really think that the Tuskegee experiment was the only thing they were doing to us? Or do you think that was the one time they got caught? I mean, do you really think, seriously, I asked yourself this question, say something in the chat. Do you really think that this was the one time they messed up? Or do you think this is the one time they got busted out of the dozens, if not hundreds of times that they have used us as guinea pigs? Do you really think that they stopped doing all this in 1932, 1942, 1952, and they're not trying to do it in the year 2022? You see, so this distrust runs deep. It's very logical. And I'm not telling anybody what to do, but I'm telling you that the real conversation is not being had. People are kind of gaslighting this. And I just think anybody who cares about our community isn't going to let this happen. Well, I'm out of here. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins. Make sure you subscribe to YourBlackWorldTV.com. I'm out of here. Have a good day. God bless you. And be safe and be healthy. Love you. Peace.